If the thought of change scares you, that's comfort. If the situation is hard but feels right, that's peace. Hello, my name is Oliver and welcome to episode 51 of the 100-day upload streak, where I'm uploading every single day for the first 100 days of 2026. Now, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to click the like button, subscribe and hit the bell notification. If you're not new, why haven't you hit the bell notification? Because the people who are subscribed to this channel, I can see you haven't hit the bell notifications yet. So hit those and click the like button because it will help the channel out greatly in the YouTube algorithm. So the difference is between peace and comfort. That's what today's video is about. I have a few points written down here just to, explain everything a bit more. But the thing is there is a difference. Now, a lot of people don't think there is. A lot of people will get confused between peace and comfort. So for instance, comfort is staying in a situation because it's familiar. I.e. the comfort pillow. You don't want to get off this pillow. You're sitting here, you're nice and comfy. Why would you want to get off? Why would you want to go get that job? Why bother asking out that person when you're comfortable? You just don't need it, That's comfort. That's comfort. But peace, on the other hand, is living or adjusting even though it's uncomfortable but necessary. This is the thing. Peace comes in all sorts of forms. Everyone's peace and everyone's comfort are all at different levels, but peace, that's where we all want to be. We want to have a peaceful life and we want to be able to adjust as and when. Comfort keeps you numb, but peace, it keeps you grounded. That's how I see things. Being comfortable isn't good. A lot of people who are comfortable are pretty boring. It's a pretty boring life, to be honest with you. So I've got some points to just help you guys out to explain a bit more of the difference. So we're going to go through the peace ones first, because I think I connect more with the peace over the comfort ones. But, I want to hear your decisions and how you feel and how you decide. So peace is you accept reality. It is what it is. You handle stress without panic. You allow change. Change is great. I love change. Change is good. I always want to change things all of the time. It's great. You feel stable long term. I feel very stable and I have been for many years, and it's great. Having your own stability is absolutely amazing. And yeah, that is definitely a part of peace. Can exist during difficulty. So even during the difficult times, you're okay. You're all good. And that's just how things are. That's how I like to feel. I've put a lot of videos up in the past about, even just in this series, about how I don't care as much, and you don't want to get on other people, don't want other people's stress annoying your life. And this is the peace. This is the peace aspect. Again, it comes from clarity. Just having clarity, being able to be clear, mindful, things like that. That is peace. And you like to say, this makes sense even if it's hard. Okay, you don't have to say this makes sense even if it's hard as a sentence, but it's how you think, because things may be difficult, but you can see the right path to success or to whatever you want to do. But comfort, that's a little different, because comfortable people avoid change. You're on your comfort pillow. Why would you want to get off and go anywhere else? You're missing out on the bigger picture. You're missing out on the potentiality of change and what the world and life has to offer you. That is one issue that I've got. Now, you avoid stress if you're comfortable. See, peaceful people, they deal with a lot of stress, because to get the peace you have to go through a lot of stress. But comfort people, rather than dealing with the stress, they'll just sit there and just be like, no, I'd rather do it. They say no to more things, and that is a big issue, because people shouldn't be doing that. People should be wanting to push themselves further and do a lot more and just do amazing, brilliant, great things in the world. That's how I see it. But also, keeping things the same. Again, that's just avoiding change. Whereas peaceful people love change. They love changing and growing, etc., etc. Comfort people don't want that. They don't want to change. Why don't you want to change? If you're a comfort person, let me know in the comments below, why don't you like change? Why don't people like change? It's as simple as that. Keeping things the same. Keeping things the same just means you're just sitting still. You might be comfortable, but you're sitting still and the world is moving past you. That's what life is, and it sucks. That's why you shouldn't be one of these people. Feel safe short term. Comfortable people, they just feel safe short term. It is true. To get the long term, you need the peace, you need to be successful. But short term, you might be like, okay, I've got a comfortable life, I've got a nice house. Mortgage is due. There we go, that's your short term. Do you see what I'm getting at? There's always something around the corner. Peaceful people don't necessarily have that issue. Exists even when you are unhappy. Unhappy. Why should people be unhappy? I don't like unhappiness. I am an unhappy person, and I don't like unhappiness. I like people to be great, and, you know, I just got so many issues with this one, but I just don't like people just staying still and just existing. I don't want you to just exist while the world moves past you every single day. You deserve more than that. Now, obviously, this comes from familiarity. You're familiar with your surroundings. You like this, you like that. See, like, I've been in my flat for 2 years now. It's a nice flat. But guess what? I'd give it up in a heartbeat for change, for something better. Not necessarily something better, but different. And that's where peace comes in. You know, comfortability. If I was comfortable, I'd be like, okay, I'll just stay here, you know, long term, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is the short term plan, this flat. Okay, it's been 2 years, but it's still a short term idea. I'm not going to be here for the next 5-10 years. Trust me on that. So this is a short term plan, whereas comfort would be just sitting here and just letting the world move past me. I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that. And comfortable people say, or at least they think, at least I know what this is. I guess a lot of elderly people end up in that position. You know, they end up stuck, right? I can give 2 examples of different elderly people that I know in my life. In fact, I know a few more adventurous than less adventurous, but there's an elderly person I know who would just, you know, just sit there and do not necessarily nothing. They do things, but their life doesn't really go anywhere. Whereas I know some other people who literally travel the world and have been to all the continents. I know this one lady, she, when it was retirement, she sold everything and just went travelling and just enjoyed her life. Why not? This is the point, you know. Peace can come from within. Peace can come from wherever. Comfortability is stagnancy. It's as simple as that, really. And I don't want people to feel stagnant. As I said, comfort does keep you numb, but peace, it keeps you grounded. Whatever your groundedness is, you've got to have the adventure in life. And peace can come from wherever. But you have to allow change. Comfortability is just stagnancy. It's just stuck. So I don't really want anyone to be stuck. And that's really it, really. It's the difference between peace and comfort. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Which category do you fit into? Are you a peaceful person or are you a comfortable person? Or are you neither and you're kind of like a mix in between, or you're just trying to work your way out from one or the other? I would honestly love to know. Adios, my Miss Amigos. I shall see you guys all in the next video, which will be up tomorrow at 5 PM. Yes, 5 PM every single day for this series. Goodbye for now.